Good morning, children. Today we are going to discuss about the class 9 subject physical science chapter 3 laws of motion. Laws of motion we are going to discuss. Now in this chapter we are going to discuss about that concept of velocity. Already I learned about that. Concept of velocity. Acceleration. Yes, now in this class we are going to learn about the concept of velocity, acceleration of this motion of this body. Already you have learned about these. What is velocity and what is acceleration you have learned. In the last class you have learned about this. What is velocity? Velocity is what? Displacement with respect to time is called a velocity, and velocity is a vector quantity. You have learned about that one. What is the acceleration? The rate of change of velocity. The rate of change of velocity is called an acceleration. It is also a vector quantity you have learned. Now in this concept, what are that our scientist, the ancient scientist have said about this one. Yes, what about the motion of this object? Yes, the motion of the object they are saying. When a body is moving, yes, on the earth, it will moving, and after some time it may be what? It may be at the rest position. Can state about that rest body? Rest means what? Yes, the object which is not at all moving is called that what? Rest position. Yes, the object which is not at all moving is called a rest position. Now, setting means every object which is moving on, it has to come to rest. Yes, now we are riding a bicycle. Yes, after riding, if we stop, what will happen? Yes, it will moving certain distance, moving, and it will be stopped at certain place. Means after certain time, it will become to a rest. Yes, means whenever you will stop the pedaling, it's come to the rest. Yes, whenever you are stopping the pedal, it will come to. Means moving a little bit far and it will be stops. Yes, now the Aristotle, a scientist or a philosopher, yes, he said about that, yes, concluded about that natural state of the object, natural state of the earthly objects. Yes, everybody is in that rest, is saying. Yes, rest. Yes, any moving object, yes, moving bodies naturally comes to rest. That Aristotle is said about that any object which is moving about that, and it has to come to rest. Yes, we will say that whenever you stop the pedaling, the cycle will come to rest. Means stop, we are saying. That Aristotle before only is saying that on the earth any object which is moving, after certain time it will come to the rest. Yes, rest means it will be stops. Yes, that will be said about. Who said about that? Aristotle, that ancient scientist about that Aristotle. Now that he said about that Aristotle. Next one is said about that Galileo Galilei. Galileo Galilei said about that. What is said? Yes, what is said? An object that is in motion will remain same motion as long as no external force is applied. Yes, an object is moving along. Yes, it is going on moving as long as the external force acted upon it. Means any object which is moving, it is going on like that only. Yes, it is going on like unless that external force acted upon it. Means whenever the external force act upon that, then only it will stop. Otherwise, it won't stop. He is saying. Who is that? Galileo Galilei is saying about that. Yes, Galileo means an object is going on moving, it will be moving only as saying. Yes, now This is about that what the persons, the ancient scientists or mathematician philosophers are there. They are saying about that. Yes, Aristotle said about, means any object which is moving here on the earth, it has to be stopped certain time. Means it has to come to the rest. He saying. And Galileo Galilei is saying about that every object on the universe as it is moving on. Yes, it will going on moving only unless a force acted upon it. He is saying about that. For this, yes, you are taking one example. You are saying, yes, a slant slope is there. Yes, downward. To the downward slope, an object is living on. Yes, an object is living. Yes. Yes, what happened to this object? It is going on moving like that only. Yes, downwards it is moving. Means it is going on moving. If after certain times it may be, yes, if it is there, external force act there, then it will be stopped for saying. Yes, that is a moving on. Smooth surface is there, you are going on. Yes, smooth surface is there, you are going on. If you are taking same way as that, if you are, what will happen? This object you are moving up. Object means here the object will be moved for certain distance and stops. Yes, certain distance it will be stops. Yes, now another condition, if I have taken like this here, what will happen to this object? Out of these three conditions, which one will be moving? Here this condition is moving unless the external force acting. This is going on moving like this. Yes, now here what happened? It has to require more force to go up. Otherwise it will come to rest position only. Otherwise it will come to the rest position only. Yes, out of these three conditions, as this what happened, the speed will be what happened, the speed of the up or the slow downs. Here the speed of what happened here, the speed will be goes up is slow downs it will be. Yes, it is going on increasing. It will be remain same, it is going on. Yes, unless that is a what? A smooth surface is there. A smooth surface is there. Yes, now one more experiment about that. Galileo came to conclusion. Yes, Galileo come to the conclusion. Here both sides you are leaving that object. Yes, if you are leaving here the object, what will happen? It will coming down and going up. Yes, coming and going up here. Yes, coming and going up. Yes, Galileo conclusion that which was contrast to the Aristotle. Which was contrast to the Aristotle here. What is that contrast to the Aristotle? Here every object will be moving on, it has to what? Come to rest set. Here what happened, it is leaving out and leaving, it will coming down and moving up. Yes, moving up the object, Here if you have seen that here, one more condition. Now here what will happen, that condition, here what happened here. See that object at the different levels. Yes, here it has more force, then only it will go. Here little bit force will be coming up. Here third one at no need at all. That object is going on once down, what happened? It is going on like this here. Means a body is continuous, it is going on in the motion only. Yes, it is going on that motion. Now from this you say that Galileo observed that shown that figure, this figure 1, 2, 3, figure 1, 2, 3 has shown about that. Means the height Initially the height is rolled down. Initially the height is rolled down here. Yes, initially height rolled down and going up. Here also initially what happened? Second stage is going up, that roll down. Third one has no height at all. Is going on. Yes, we have seen that 3 times. We have seen the marble rolls. That object will be rolled up at the same height, but it had to go further at instance, at different instance it will be going on. Means which instance will go more far? The third instance it will be going on more far. Means the object is going more instant, or in that object in place that you can write as a marble if you are writing. Marble if you write it, that marble will, which instant will go more ways? That third instant that marble will be going on. Means from this we are saying about the 3 fundamental laws which explain about the connection of this force change of the motion. The 3 laws popularly known. From this we have concluded that the 3 laws that existence, that is a Newton's laws came into existence. First, second, third laws that is came into existence. About that Newton's laws we will discuss about this. Yes, this we are going to discuss in this. As we are discussing about that, these, whenever the object or a marble we are leaving, it is moving about the speed ups. Yes, here whereas it will move and it will stop, whereas the second stage the marble will be moving. Here whenever the 3 stages we have seen, if in these objects, if the friction is there, yes, in this object, that is friction, or indirectly you will call as a rough surface you will call, or indirectly you can say that is a what? There exists a what? External force acting upon it. Whenever it will act on it will be stopped. Yes, but whatever this saying about that Aristotle, Galileo, yes, basing on this again we got it. Aristotle, Galileo, a third person which is acting and saying about the friction also, that is Newton. These 3 they are proposed is 3 fundamental laws which explain that connection between the force and changes in their motion. Yes, connection between the force and the change in their motion. The 3 laws known as the Newton's laws of motion. The 3 laws are known as what? Newton's laws of the motion. Newton's laws of motion. Newton's laws of the motion. Yes, now these 3 laws, in that first one is there. First law of motion. First law of motion. What is this first law of motion will say? Now listen. First law of motion. What is the first law of the motion will say? Every object will remain at rest. Every object will remain at rest in state of uniform motion unless it is compelled to change in its state of action or as net force. Yes, every body will be, yes, every body will remain its rest in its state unless a force acted upon it. Means every body will be remain in its state only, as that every object which is remaining in the state. Which state means you are saying an object which is in the rest, it will be remain rest only unless a force acted upon it. Means unless a force acted, it means yes, you are taking a cycle and placing here. What is the state? That is rest only. Now you apply a force. What will happen? It is going on moving. Means once you apply a force, means once you apply a pedal, it is going on moving. Yes, it is going on moving. That is about that what? First law is saying about that one. Every object, yes, every object will remain at the state, in state of uniform motion, unless it is compelled to change its state by an action of net force. Yes, unless a force acted upon it, it will be remain state. Yes, that is the first law. Very, very important first law. Yes, first law of motion stated that as follows. Every object will remain at rest or in a state of uniform motion unless compelled to change. Compelled to change in its state by the action of a net force. Yes, this is the Newton's first law of motion. Very important statement. Yes, every object will remain at rest or in uniform state of uniform motion unless it is compelled to change its state by an action of net force. It either remains rest or it moves in a straight line, which constant speed. That is about that uniform motion. Yes, what it is going to explain? Yes, it's explain about that object. It is explain about that object which is at the rest. It will be remain rest as it is moving on. It is going on. Uniform motion is going on. Yes, as it is going on, it will remains going on only. Now, observing the motion of a coin kept on a thick paper, objecting the motion of an object which are placed on a thick paper. Yes, now see this. Observing motion here, take a glass. Yes, on the glass you place the paper. Yes, on this glass, what happened? You place a coin. Yes, place a coin. Glass with some water in there. Paper, coin. Yes. I have seen this, a glass or a glass tumbler is there, in that water is there, on that sheet of paper will be there, on the place in the coin. Yes, now what you have to do? Observe the motion of the coin. Observe the motion of the coin. Yes, the coin is placed at the center of the paper. The coin is placed at the center of paper. Yes, with your finger. Yes, with your finger first, as you can. With your finger, as you can. What you do? Yes, just you observe this. What you are doing? Yes. What happens if the coin? What happens if the coin? What happens if you pull it? What happens? The coin has to fall down. As that you are flicking or pulling that, yes, as you are pushing that paper, what happens? The coin has to fall down. The coin has to fall down. Here, what will happen to that coin? If you pull it, what happens? The coin will be fall down. If you pull it, what happens? The coin will be fall down. Now, if you flick it fast, what happens? The coin will be fall inside. The coin will be fall inside. Means the coin will be in the rest position. It will be in rest only. Yes, it will be rest only. Yes, unless if you are in force acted, then it will be remain in that position only. Yes, that is called about that inertia. Yes, inertia in motion we will call. Yes, that we will going to discuss in the next class. Okay, thank you, children.
A very good morning, children. We are going to discuss about the third chapter, animal tissues, from 9th class biology. Children, in this chapter we are discussing about the types of animal tissues present in the animal body. Children, already we discussed about the first type of animal tissue in the previous classes. So mainly animal tissues are four types. Epithelial tissue is first one, second one connective tissue, third one muscular tissue, and fourth one nervous tissue. Children, in the previous classes we discussed about epithelial tissue and the types of epithelial tissue. And in the previous classes we also discussed about the connective tissue and types of connective tissue. Already we discussed, children, connective tissue which connects organs of the body parts, muscles and bones. This connective tissue is mainly 7 types. In the before classes we discussed about 6 types. Now we are going to discuss about the 7th type of the connective tissue, which is nothing but blood. Okay, what is the 7th type of connective tissue? Blood. So in this class we are going to discuss about the story of blood in detail. Okay, the story of blood topic in detail. Coming to our topic. So the blood is a connective tissue. Children, the blood is a connective tissue. The blood is red in color because of the pigment hemoglobin. Okay, so the blood flows only in the blood vessels. Blood contains different types of cells. The cells perform different types of functions in the body. Okay, next, the blood cells are flowed in the plasma. Plasma is a fluid which contains water. Plasma is a fluid which contains water. Okay, so the blood cells are freely flowed in the plasma. Okay, plasma contains extracellular space. Okay, plasma contains extracellular space and fibers are absent in the plasma. Plasma means plain liquid-like structure. Okay, which contain no fibers, and the plasma which is present in the extracellular spaces. Okay, it is a fluid which is freely flowed in the blood. Okay, next, the story of blood. Children, what is about blood, Nana? Blood is a red color pigment because it contains a pigment that is called hemoglobin. Okay, so the blood which is flows only in the blood vessels. Blood is a connective tissue which connect different types of the cells in the living organisms. Okay, so the blood contains different cells. We are discussing in this class. The different cells can perform different types of functions. Okay, so some water-like fluid which is present in the blood, that is nothing but plasma. Okay, plasma contains no fibers. The plasma which is present in the extracellular spaces present in our blood cells. Okay, the blood cells which are freely flowed in the plasma. Okay, this is about introduction of blood topic. Coming to our next topic, story of blood. Children, already we discussed the blood is also called a connective tissue. Blood which flows only through the blood vessels. Okay, so children, very important thing. Do you know our heart pumps 36,000 liters of the blood? Children, see how great it is. Our heart pumps 36,000 liters of the blood up to 20,000 kilometers within 24 hours in our body. Okay, what is the main point here, Nana? Our heart pumps 36,000 liters of the blood up to 20,000 kilometers distance in 24 hours. Okay, this is the specialty of heart. Heart receives blood from various body parts and heart pumps the blood. Okay, the blood from the heart which is transported to each and every body part present in the living organisms. Okay, so this is very important thing. Heart pumps 36,000 liters of the blood into 20,000 kilometers within 24 hours. Okay, children. Next, the blood is red in color because of the pigment hemoglobin. Okay, hemoglobin contains a protein. Okay, hemoglobin contains protein. So this hemoglobin pigment gives red color to the blood. Okay, so in the human beings, the blood is in red color because of hemoglobin pigment. But some animals contain different colors of the blood. Okay, in some animals, the blood color is not red in color. Okay, for example, cockroach. In the cockroach, hemoglobin pigment is absent. That's why the blood which is in white color. Okay, the blood which is in white color means white blood cells are present in the cockroach. That's why the blood which is in white color. Next one, snail. In the snail, the blood color is blue in color. Okay, blue color blood which is present in the snail and white color blood which is present in the cockroaches. Okay, not only this, some animals contain different colors of the blood. We will discuss later in 10th class. Okay, children, what is very important point here? Normal adult. Okay, what is the good percentage of the blood? A normal adult contains 5 liters of the blood. Okay, we must contain 5 liters of the blood. If we contain less amount of blood, it leads to anemia disease. Okay, children, it leads to anemia disease. So we must contain 5 liters of the blood in our blood vessels. Okay, so in the blood, water also present. Water is also present in the blood. The water portion present in the blood is called plasma. Very important, one more question. What is called plasma? A water fluid, a water which is present in the blood means water which is dissolved in the blood. Okay, that is Okay, blood excrete some waste products outside through urine and bile pigment. What are the waste products which is released from blood? Lactic acid, urea, salts, etc. In the form of urine and bile pigment, our body releasing lactic acid, urea and salts, which are waste products present in the blood. Okay, next, plasma contains some factors. The factors are responsible for blood clotting. Okay, some factors are present in the plasma. The factors are responsible for blood clotting. Okay, next, very important one more question. The substance heparin. The substance heparin which prevent blood clotting in our blood vessels. Okay, children, heparin is a chemical substance which prevent blood clotting in our blood vessels. So heparin is essential to our body. Okay, if heparin is absent, what happens then? The blood will clot in our blood vessels and the blood cannot reach to our heart. Then our heart will stop beating. Then we will die. So heparin is very essential to our body. Heparin is a chemical substance which prevent blood clotting in the blood vessels. So due to heparin, the blood which flows continuously in our blood vessels, the blood vessels means transport the blood into our heart. Okay, next, this is about the story of blood. Children, from the topic what you understood now? The blood is a connective tissue which is in red color because of the pigment hemoglobin. Okay, blood contains some components like amino acids, glucose, vitamins, proteins, hormones, etc. Blood release some waste products outside. Nothing but lactic acid, urea and salts. Okay, the water which is dissolved in the blood, which is responsible to transport blood from one place to another place. Okay, and hemoglobin is a pigment which is responsible transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide gas into the body. Okay, what is the function of hemoglobin? Hemoglobin is very important pigment. It transports oxygen and carbon dioxide gases into our body. Blood flows only in the blood vessels. Okay, heparin is a substance which prevents blood clotting in our blood vessels. Okay, the liquid-like portion which is present in the blood, that is called plasma. Plasma contains some factors which are responsible for blood clotting. Okay, so the blood cells are freely flowed in the plasma. Plasma contains no fibers which is present in the extracellular spaces. Okay, this is about story of blood, and the very important topic is types of blood cells. Children, the blood cells are classified mainly 3 types. Okay, the blood cells are classified mainly 3 types. First one, red blood cells. Second one, white blood cells. Third one, blood platelets. Blood platelets. Children, our blood cells are classified into 3 types. First one, red blood cells which contain hemoglobin pigment, white blood cells absent hemoglobin pigment, and platelets. Okay, now we are going to discuss one by one about the types of blood cells present in our body. First one, red blood cells. Okay, what is the first type, Nana? Red blood cells. The red blood cells are also called as erythrocytes. Underline, very important. The Okay, all the mammals except the camel contain red blood cells without a nucleus. Means the camel blood cells nucleus is absent, but in all mammals blood cells nucleus is present. Okay, so this is about what Nana? Red blood cells. What are the main important points? Red blood cells are also called as erythrocytes because of the red color pigment hemoglobin. The blood cells are arranging in red color. The hemoglobin pigment which is responsible to transport oxygen and carbon dioxide gases in the blood. The lifespan of red blood cells is nothing but 120 days. Okay, when we are present in our mother's womb, the red blood cells are present in the liver and spleen. After birth, the blood cells are present in the bone marrow and it is continuous to lifelong time. Okay, all the mammals contain red blood cells with nucleus, but camel contain red blood cells without a nucleus. This is about red blood cells. Next, the second type is WBC, means white blood cells. Okay, so WBC contain white color blood. That is nothing but hemoglobin pigment is absent in the white blood cells. That's why the blood cells are arranging in white color. The white blood cells are also called as leukocytes. Very important, underline. The white blood cells do not contain hemoglobin pigment, so they are called as leukocytes. White blood cells are less in number when compared to red blood cells. Okay children, the white blood cells count is very less when compared to red blood cells. What is the count of red blood cells? Normal adult contain the 1 ml of blood contain 5 millions of the red blood cells. Very important. 1 ml of blood contain 5 millions of the red blood cells. When compared to red blood cells count, white blood cells are very less in number. Okay now, so this is about what Nana? White blood cells. Okay, in the white blood cells hemoglobin pigment is absent. That's why the blood is white in color. White blood cells are also called as leukocytes. The lifespan of white blood cells is very less when compared to RBC. White blood cells are present in less number when compared to red blood cells. Okay, so in 1 ml of blood, total 5 millions of the red blood cells are present. Okay, so this is about white blood cells. Then white blood cells are classified into 2 types. Okay, the white blood cells are classified into 2 types. First one, granulocytes. Second one, granulocytes. Okay, first one granulocytes, second one granulocytes. So first we will discuss about granulocytes. The granulocytes are again classified into 3 types. First one, neutrophils. Second one, eosinophils. Third one, basophils. Okay children, white blood cells are 2 types. First one granulocytes, second one agranulocytes. These granulocytes are again classified into 3 types. First one neutrophils, second one eosinophils, third one basophils. Okay now, so what is about granulocytes Nana? The granulocytes kills harmful microorganism which is entering into our body. Means this granulocytes kills the harmful microorganisms which are present in our body. So these granulocytes sacrifice their life against the microorganisms. When the granulocytes will die against to fighting microorganisms, these granulocytes are going outside from our body in the form of pus. Pus means what Nana? Chiru. Okay, so these granulocytes are nothing but white blood cells. These These granulocytes are responsible to kill harmful microorganisms entering into our body. The granulocyte cells sacrifice their life against microorganisms. So when the cells are died, the cells which are going from our body through pus into outside. When we have a wound, the white color portion which is coming outside, that is nothing but pus. Pus contain what, Nana? Dead white blood cells. Okay. So what is the function of white blood cells? White blood cells kills harmful microorganisms entering into our body. So when we are injured, we have a wound. From the wound, white color jelly-like substance is coming out. That is nothing but pus. Pus contain dead white blood cells. Okay. So white blood cells are acting like a soldiers to our body. Okay. So in the white blood cells mainly neutrophils. Okay. So all the white blood cells kills microorganisms. But what happens now? Who will come first? In three types of white blood cells, neutrophils. Okay. So the granulocytes, three types: neutrophil, eosinophil, basophil. When the harmful microorganism is entering into our body, first neutrophils come into the border, and neutrophil kills the harmful microorganism which is entering into our body. That's why these neutrophils are called as microscopic policemen. Okay, neutrophils are called as microscopic policemen. Why? When the disease causing microorganism is entering into our body, first neutrophils coming and killing the microorganism. That's why the neutrophils are also called as microscopic policemen. Microscopic policemen. Okay, this is about what, Nana? Granulocytes. This is about granulocytes. Okay, na? White blood cells, two types: granulocytes, agranulocytes. Granulocytes are again three types: neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils. Okay, so these all white blood cells kills harmful particles which are entering into our body. Okay, na? But in this first neutrophils, okay, in this first neutrophils are coming when the harmful particle is entering into our body and killing them first. That's why neutrophils are also called as microscopic policemen. These white blood cells sacrifice their life to fight against enemies. Okay, na? So when we are injured from the wound, the pus is coming outside. The pus contain dead white blood cells. Okay, na? This is about what, Nana? Granulocytes. In the later classes we will discuss about granulocytes and the third type of blood cell, that is nothing but blood platelets. Okay? Hope you understand this video. Homework. Explain the different types of blood cells. Explain the different types of blood cells. Second question: what is called plasma? What is called plasma? Next, third question: why neutrophils are called microscopic policemen. Microscopic policemen. Okay, children, what is your homework now? First question: explain the different types of blood cells. Second one, what is called plasma? Third one,
Good morning, children. Good morning. You see here about hydrosphere. Hydrosphere means water, and you know that different kinds of water bodies are there. Different kinds of water bodies. That is oceans, rivers, streams, lakes, ponds. That are water bodies. I told you. And yesterday in the previous class I told you about the ocean bed. How the ocean floor will be there. Ocean floor. In that ocean floor, we have discussed continental shelf means near the ocean, bank of the ocean, that is continental shelf, and after that continental slope will be there, and after that continental deep will be there, that we have discussed. And what will be there? Minerals. In the continental shelf you can find minerals, and also petroleum, crude oil you will get from the continental shelf, and harbor also, port also can construct there only, and some minerals also will get, that we have discussed in the previous class about the ocean floor. And down in this floor, ocean deep, I told you, trenches, ridges, trenches and ridges are called hills, and that hills were erupted by the volcanoes, we have discussed. By the volcanoes, these were erupted in the down on the floor of the ocean, I told you. Next one, I told you about the salinity of the ocean. Salinity means what? Salinity is nothing but salt. Salinity is nothing but salt content. And I told you in the previous class why the ocean water will be salt and why the river water will be sweet. Why? Because the water which is coming and joining in the ocean, that water is washing the topmost layer of the soil and the rocks and some minerals, everything that is washing and coming and joining in the ocean. That's why lot of minerals are joining in the ocean. That's why lot of salts are carrying. The water which is coming, the run of water which is coming and joining in the ocean, it is carrying lot of salts. That's why the ocean water is very salt. And also we have discussed about Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi has prepared the salt. Before that, the Britishers only used to sell that salt. British only should, and there is no right to prepare a salt or sell the salt. But in 1930, Mahatma Gandhi did a satyagraha, means 200 miles from the Sabarmati Ashramam to Dandi. It's a beach, means it is a coastal of the sea. Up to Dandi, he went there and he prepared a salt from the ocean water, and he told everybody should prepare a salt. And that we will call as satyagraha. Salt satyagraha. Salt satyagraha was done in the 1930, in March 30, and that is about that one. And that's why we call ocean water is very salt. That's why they are preparing salt today. And salt is nothing but NaCl. In your science, the chemistry will be there, equations like calculations. NaCl means sodium chloride. NaCl means sodium chloride, and that is about that one. And here another one also will be there. I told you now. While the run of water is carrying some minerals, I told you. But another one also is there, why the ocean water will be salt? Because on the sea floor, the volcanoes will erupt. Because of eruption of volcanoes in the ocean, like that also some salts will be there. Some salts are present. And next one you see saline water. Saline water is salt water. And here you see, it is a question. It is a question that saline water means what? Means how much? So, in that you should take some quantity. Now listen, I tell you. I told you number of times. One glass of ocean water you take. It is just like one glass of salt. But we'll tell generally. But according to calculation, you see, we'll tell that 1000 grams of water, 1000 grams of sea water you take, 1000 grams of ocean water you take. In that you will get 35% of minerals, salt minerals will be there. What is in that? In 1000 grams of water, near about 35% of salts are present in that. Telling like that. That's about that one. And next one you see, some factors are there. What are the factors means? Why the salt water is more salt? Why the salt water is less salt? Some factors are there. The main thing is evaporation. Evaporation means, you know what is evaporation? Evaporation is nothing but, you see here, evaporation is nothing but the water is converted into water vapor 79% of the earth is covered by the ocean. 79% of the earth is covered by the ocean. So from the ocean, large quantity of water is evaporated. Large quantity of water is evaporated in the sky. So evaporation, you see evaporation. So in the ocean, lot of water is evaporated. Some cubic millimeters of the water is evaporated every day. So like that, because of evaporation, what is happening? Only the water content will be evaporated up, and the minerals will stay down only in the ocean. So minerals are staying down. That's why the water will be very salt. Why? Because very salt. One example, you see, if you take one example, tea. If you take the mother has kept 3 cups of tea, and it became 2 cups of tea. What happened? 1 cup of tea was evaporated. So what happened? The tea will be very pure tea, and what will be there? Very sweet it will be there. Why? Because actually she has kept for sugar, and she has added for 3 cups, but it became for 2 cups. So like that, it will be very sweet, and also it will be very pure. So here also there will be the ocean water. Why the sugar is not went up? Why the sugar has not carried evaporation? Why did not? Because sugar has some weight. That's why it has stayed there only. So here also you see the ocean water. Only water goes up, and all the minerals will stay there. That's why in the summer season, if you go to the ocean water will be very salt than the normal rain. In the rainy season is different, but in the summer, lot of water will be lot of salt, and because of evaporation. And another one, precipitation. What is the precipitation? Precipitation is nothing but rainfalls. Precipitation is nothing but rainfall. When the rains are falling, what happens? You see, going on, rain is falling. What happens? The water will flow into the ocean. The water will flow into the oceans where the sea coast will be there. Now, for example, you take Visakhapatnam is there. Visakhapatnam is there. Mumbai is there. Mumbai and Visakhapatnam. What happens? You see, from the sea water. You see, in the sea water, the river water will join in that. Excess of water will become in our India. So what happens? We should release that water. So that water will go and join. Rains are more. Recently you saw that in Mumbai, lot of water came, and within 2 days or 3 days the water will disappears. Mumbai became like a river, and within 2 days what happened? The river water has joined in the ocean. So where the ocean coast will be there, what happens? See there, the salinity will decrease. Why? Because new water has joined in that, so salinity is decreased by the precipitation. Precipitation is nothing but rainfall. And next one you see winds. And you see winds. Winds you see here, what are the winds? Winds you keep. So another one, salinity by winds. Winds means ocean currents. Ocean currents means what? The rise and fall of the tides. The rise and fall of the tides. Means you see the tides will rise, and fall. Crust and the trough. You see, when falling like this, and when the tides are falling up and down, so what happens? You see winds. Wind means you see what the wind. Wind is nothing but a blowing of air. You see here, air. Air you see, what is the wind? When the force, when the pressure has came to the air, that's what that wind. So because of wind, what is happening? From the equatorial region, you see, from the equatorial region, because of wind, what happens? The water goes to the polar region, and from the polar region, the water comes to the equatorial region. So like that, the salinity also decreases because of winds. And you know that they will tell that if winds are there, the ship will be there. Suppose the ship is moving, a big ship is moving. Suppose the winds are coming. So what happened? With the winds, what happened? The fuel also will be decreased. Why? Because the winds will push the ship like that. If it is the ship is going opposite to the wind, means lot of fuel is wasted. Why? Because lot of force will be there. So winds also one reason. Winds also one reason to change the salinity, either less or more. And you see ocean currents downward ups and downs. And also see coastal region. I told you now only what is coastal region. Mumbai coastal region, Visakhapatnam coastal region, there the water will be less salinity. Why? Because the new water, the rain water is going and joining in in the ocean. So if water is joining here, the salinity will be decreased. And you should know that in the summer season, the salinity will be more, and in the rainy season, particularly in the coastal area, the salinity will be less. That is about that one. And so you see, because of fresh water is joining, the salinity will become less. And then you see isoline. Isoline is nothing but the two lines joining. The same height of two lines joining is called as isoline. Isoline is nothing but in the ocean. What happens? The tides will come high and low, so that the joining of the two lines, the same height, that is called as isoline, and with this they can decide the salinity. Salinity means, I told you, what is that? Saltless. And ocean temperature, what is called as ocean temperature? Ocean temperature, you see, now ocean will be there. Temperature means what? What is the meaning of temperature? Temperature means the relatively hot and cold. The relatively hot and cold means the temperature can be measured. The cold one we can measure, the hot one we can measure. So now the ocean temperature we are going to discuss. And you see, because of southwest monsoons, you see, I told you in 9th class when I told you rainy season means, today you are calling rainy season, but actually we will call a rainy season as a southwest monsoons. Why? Because from the Arabian Sea and from the Indian Ocean, you see, from Arabian Sea, you see India is there, suppose, from the Arabian Sea and Indian Ocean, the monsoons will come like this. The monsoon means rainfall. So that's why we call it as southwest monsoons. So southwest monsoons. So you see here, southwest monsoons means rainfall. So you see, because of this also the salinity will be decreased. Why? Because rains will fall, the fresh water will join like that. And one thing I am telling you, these southwest monsoons will affect. How these southwest monsoons will come? By Nino and Nino. You see, here some are there. That is called Nino and La Nino. Nino and La Nino. Because of these winds, the southwest monsoons are affected and lot of rains will fall. And another one, you see, we are going to discuss about the temperature of the ocean. How it will be there. Temperature means, you see, we tell that in summer season for us 45 degrees will be there. That's what temperature. In summer season 45 degrees of heat will be there for us. And in the winter it will be 19 or 20 degrees. 19 or 20 degrees below witness. But that is our atmosphere temperature in our Telangana. But now they are asking about the temperature of the ocean. Ocean temperature how much? Means, you see, ocean temperature, that is about the, you see, on the top of the ocean, 29 degrees Celsius will be there. 29 degrees Celsius will be there in the ocean on the top. And when going down, 5 kilometers, every 5 kilometers you are going down, means it decreases. The temperature decrease, and the down -2 degrees of Celsius will be there. -2 degrees of Celsius will be there. And one thing I am going to tell you, what is the temperature means. If they ask you, what is the ocean temperature? What is the ocean temperature? The ocean temperature means, you should write that the ocean temperature is -2 degrees to 29 degrees of Celsius. -2 degrees to 29 degrees of Celsius will be the ocean temperature. That is about the ocean temperature. And for every 5 kilometers that is decreased, that the temperature will be decreased. The ocean on the top, you know, I told you, the ocean is very deep. The ocean will be very deep. So you are going down on the top, the temperature will be more. Why? Because in the summer, you see, the water will be hot. But if you go down, the temperature of the water will become cool. Down you go, -2 will be there. And if you go there, ice will be there down, like that. It will be there. That is about that one. And next, you see, we are going to discuss about the vertical distribution of temperature. You see, vertical distribution of temperature. You see here, what is the vertical distribution of temperature? Vertical distribution of temperature means like this temperature. And you see, you know that here you see, what is that? Wind will blow horizontal. Horizontal is called like this. But here you see the temperature vertically, it comes like this. Vertical means now sun is on the top. So from there, if vertical it comes like this. It is coming vertical distribution of temperature, you see. And you see here, what is telling that inside and decrease. Now only I told you, for every 5 kilometers it is decreased. That is called as vertical. Means ocean, you are going down, down, down like this. Vertically you are going, straight you are going. So that's why what is happening. When you are going down into the ocean, the temperature is decreasing, and the last one will be -2 degrees in the ocean. That we have discussed. And what is ocean currents? So you should know that what is ocean currents. Ocean currents are nothing but, you will tell that what is currents? Ocean current. Ocean currents are, one is the, what are the cold currents will be there and warm currents will be there. Listen here. Ocean currents are two cold currents, and you see, and warm currents and cold currents. What is that? Means ocean currents means the water rises and falls, rises and falls. That is called as ocean currents. And here you see, what is a cold currents? Means you see cold currents means, now suppose you see here it is there. This is called as flow, and you know that this is called as equator. And here you see this is called as poles. You see poles, and here what will be very cool it will be there, and here warm will be there. You see this part will be warm and this part will be cool. So now what is happening? Cold currents means with ocean, with the waves, with the wind, the water. Cold means coolness is coming like this to the equatorial region. So you see, the cold winds are coming to the equatorial region. So the cold winds are coming to the equatorial region. And next one you see, warm currents. Warm currents means in the equatorial region, warm will be there. The ocean water will be warm. Because of tides, because of air is moving. What happens from here? The winds. Because of winds, what is happening? From warm currents are moving to the polar zone. Now what is happening? This warm water will go there and it will decrease the coolness of this one. And this cool water, the coolness of water, cool water will come here and it will decrease the warmness. So like that. That is about the cold current and the warm current. And next one you see, now understood no? Warm currents means from the polar it comes to the warm, and from the cold currents means from the cold you see here, from the warm it is going here, from the cool it is coming here. That are called as currents. Currents means tides. The tides are moving from here to here, and tides are moving from here to here. That is called cold and warm currents. And next one, centrifugal force. What is called as centrifugal force? Centrifugal force means to know that what is called as centrifugal force. Centrifugal force means nothing. You know that the earth is revolution. The earth is revolving and it is rotating also. Both it is doing. What is doing? The earth revolves around its own axis. It's moving forward and completing the revolution of the sun. So while doing revolution, because of revolution, what is happening? The water is moving. Why? Because I told you the ocean is very deep. And what is happening? The earth is doing revolution. Because of revolution, what is happening? The water from the equatorial region, it is moving to the polar region, and from the polar region, the water is moving to the equatorial region. Listen here. What is that? What I am telling you? So you see, now I told you the centrifugal force, and next one, effect of winds. You see here, effect of winds. You see, because of effects of winds, wind also. You see, what is the wind? Wind means the fast blowing air. The fast blowing air is called wind, and this is happening where in the ocean. Effect of wind. What is happening? The wind is moving very speedily. That is velocity. Means lot of air will be there because of tides, high and low tides that are coming. 50 miles per hour speed is coming. It's called as velocity. 50 miles per hour it is coming. That is about the 0.75% of the velocity, and 0.75% of the hour it is moving with that much speed. Means 50 miles. 50 miles is now this water is there. This water is traveling within 1 hour. 50 miles. The tides are moving 50 miles per hour. Within 1 hour, this is staying there. Suppose here, within 1 hour, this is coming and staying there. After 50 miles, that much speed the winds are doing. It is about that one. And you see another one I'm going to tell you here what is there. You see here precipitation is there. What is called as precipitation? Precipitation is called as rainfall. Different types of rainfalls are called precipitation. And next one you see solar energy. What is called solar energy? You know that. What is called solar energy? Solar means sun, energy means heat. Solar means sun, energy means heat. And now what is happening? The sun is emitting the light and heat rays, and the earth is receiving the light and heat rays. That is called as solar energy. Solar energy. And another you see oceans as resources. Oceans as resources means what is useful with ocean for the mankind? One question is there. What are the uses of ocean? With ocean, what are the uses? With ocean, what are the uses? Because of oceans, we are getting salt. Because of oceans, we are getting minerals, and we are getting crude oil, and we are getting calcium, and we are getting pearls. These are there in the ocean. You see, oceans as resources. Oceans as resources means you are getting, ocean is the resources for us, and in the ocean what you are getting, you see, we are human being today, we are getting for the human being seafood, different types of varieties of fishes we are getting from the ocean, we are getting salt from the ocean, we are getting minerals from the ocean, we are getting crude oil from the ocean, and we are getting pearls, metal mutyalu from that we are getting, and we are getting lot from this one, and that is about that one. And this is about the mineral, this is about the uses of the and the resources which are getting from the ocean. So you should know that, and with this we have completed our lesson 3. Okay, thank you.